Hi everybody, welcome to Shivers Speaks. Today we are talking about zombies, which is perfectly in theme with the Black Friday, Cyber Monday genre of it all. Zombies are really the 21st century monster. The zombie apocalypse from mass plague is the closest thing that we can believe will actually happen, unlike vampires or werewolves or anything like that, making them more relatable and believable. Zombie stories in 2020 and 2021 were even scarier than they've ever really been before, especially with the threat of COVID. We really got a glimpse into the world of the disease, the invisible monster that's killing people through infection. Just look at the chaos from COVID. It's very probable to believe that if COVID happened on an amplified scale, zombies would become reality. Zombie films show that the wrong impulses that come out of people are far more terrifying than just The Walking Dead. Our antisocial tendencies tell us that we would not mind living in the apocalypse, and outside of psychological horror movies, zombie films can be some of the best movies to help us learn about ourselves. Makes us question, what would I do to survive? Am I truly going to fight or run away? Imagining a society where there's no more rules and the collapse of government creates a sociological question of who would I become given the chance. Challenges the race and class system of America as well, since none of that would matter at the end of the world. This is really the only horror genre that completely negates race in general. Zombies are not racist, they're just hungry, and in their minds they're living in a utopia and a buffet. Zombies themselves make us ask if we would really want our loved ones to come back to life. Analyze the phrase of be careful what you really do wish for. Each zombie movie has specific speed for zombies as well, and that is basically fast or slow. Fast zombies, like those in World War Z, sprinting through hallways and climbing up walls, represent death by getting shot or some sort of very quick way of dying. Whereas slow zombies, like in The Walking Dead, represent death by cancer or a slow spreading disease, which allows us to visualize our own death. We see the horde walking, we see them coming, we can prepare for the inevitable and do our best to fight back, but in the end we're hoping that luck is simply on our side. The relief from zombie movies or infection stories is that there is always hope for survival. Talking about a few zombie movies and shows in general, let's start with The Walking Dead. The biggest fear is not of zombies, it's of the other people. The Walking Dead zombies are successful because we can see the person behind the zombie, begging the question of when do we really lose our humanity? Kids 8 to 10 years old typically watch The Walking Dead, or at least they used to, as if it's a family show. It's all about the people, it's a true Western. The bicycle zombie, the first zombie, Rick Grimes kneels down and says, "I'm sorry this happened to you," to a creature that we've come to know as a creature. It really does bring the human emotions to the show and really forces us, the audience, to connect with compassion and humanity, even for those who are barely human or who are sick to the point of unidentification. The show is completely about what you would do to preserve your humanity. At what point do you lose it? Is it when you become a zombie, or even before that when you start to lack empathy for people? Who really is The Walking Dead? Getting into the next show/movie, let's talk about Night of the Living Dead. This was the first came out in 1968. This is also the first horror movie where there is a black man who's a protagonist in this movie. Having him killed off by society instead of zombies was really a hit at societal issues and kind of everything that I was saying before. Zombies don't care. They don't essentially have eyes to see who they're picking and choosing, who they're hungry for, but society does. This movie also has a lot of practical effects. The zombies ate ham covered in chocolate sauce that makes it look realistic, combination of bloody black and blood on a black and white screen. And these rules for zombies of being shot in the brain and bites equaling infection all came from this movie as well. They were created by George Romero, and that really only came out about 50, almost 60 years ago. So all of the rules that we know for zombies are relatively recent. The next movie in line is Dawn of the Dead, that came out in 1978. This is the follow-up to Night of the Living Dead, which is 10 years later. This film's setting is an American shopping mall, taking almost all of the inspiration from the consumerism of the Cabbage Patch dolls at the time, showing the ties between humans shopping and acting like animals on Black Friday, and how zombies themselves would act just the same in the same location. Basically, George Romero said that if the world were to collapse, where do people flock to? Where are their natural tendencies of going? And his thoughts back then were the mall, because people always want to shop and are always told to shop and go get what they need and go get what they want. So this is really why zombies have become so associated with Black Friday, with consumerism. It's just this mindless idea of, I have to go get that gift, I have to go get that toy, that present, whatever it is, and I will do anything and kill anybody to get it. You imagine all of those old time Black Friday shopping videos that have been online forever. I go Black Friday shopping every year and I've never seen anything like that in person, but the people trampling over each other and running into stores and sprinting in, really, if you look at both videos side to side of a zombie horde coming at you or those old timer Black Friday shoppers, it's really a coin flip of who's who. And then the last actual zombie movie to talk about is Shaun of the Dead. Of course, I have to bring it up. This is a film that is basically one of the first ever parodies made about the zombie genre, but it still holds true to its own storyline. Our main character, Shaun, lives day in and day out as if he himself is already a zombie, waking up, going to work, going to the pub, playing video games, going to sleep, rinse, repeat. This movie is laced with deeper meaning than just the goofy exterior, showing the idea of sheepism and consumerism like we just talked about, where people just walk in mobs and follow a supposed leader in real life, which looks the same as if they're a group of zombies chasing their next meal. When the zombie apocalypse breaks out in town, Shaun wants to do nothing but save his girlfriend and go to the pub, representing people in society who do not want to deal with issues and revert back to their vices, in this situation, alcohol, in times of desperation or turmoil. Ignorance isn't bliss when zombies are really knocking on the door, because you have to face them or you're going to die. The second half of today's talk is now more about the actual apocalyptic horror. So this can be a genre all of its own. It's not necessarily just to zombies. The zombie official genre is apocalyptic horror, but there's much more layers. This is more serious, more focused on realism. The apocalyptic or post-apocalyptic genre focuses on an Earth that is no more, whether the cause being climate destruction, a pandemic, zombies, or through God's divine intervention. These movies show how everyday people deal with a world on the brink of collapse, or how they live after the world has already done so. It focuses on the psychology of survivors and the way in which the human race is maintained or completely destructed. The fear of this genre is more real than others because, similarly to zombies themselves, it is something that really could happen. It is more realistic of us to grasp this as opposed to other genres. Also, in the Catholic faith, people are taught that God will resurrect at an unexpected moment and create the end of the world. The same fear for demons, the opposite of angels, which are feared in churches. Demons are feared in churches. It's a similar fear to the apocalypse, except that Christians are supposed to welcome the end of the world because God will save all who are worth saving. This, on its own, begs the question of, am I a good enough person to be saved? And am I strong enough to survive? Just two movies to mention under this genre. We have Legion. This is the movie about apocalypse. God's distaste for humanity says that basically he wants to delete the game and start over. Different waves of terror come through, and all of our humans have to defeat that. But Archangel Michael comes down and tries to help and fight against Archangel Gabriel to save the humans. So this is really more of that godly side of things. And then, of course, A Quiet Place. This is our modern take on the apocalyptic type of horror. And every single movie in the Quiet Place series is all very rooted in humanity, in empathy, in us caring for the characters that are on screen. And I think it's perfectly done. So, watch all of these types of movies during your Black Friday shopping, Cyber Monday shopping, Thanksgiving times, and let me know how you feel they fit into the times. Thanks for listening, as always.